What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man ChazzEllis once again. For some of y'all getting on the chat, I'm gonna let y'all take a little second. Make sure you mash that super chat button for your boy one time, and also hit the like. Appreciate you. Look like somebody already did it. Tish, what's up? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit this before I even go into it. Hi, Chad. So happy I caught you. With standing out, what are some of the actions that lean toward the awkward, not the attractive side, and stand out illusions? I'm going to hit you with that. That's a good question, Tish. I'm going to get into that as I'm talking. That's a real good question. Make sure if y'all got questions, I'm going to try to get to them. But make sure y'all get in that super chat. Good question, Tish. This stream is going to be about standing out. Why people aren't choosing you. And even if they are choosing you, why are the right people not choosing you? Why are you not getting chosen by the people that you actually want to deal with? Why are you not seeing the results that you're looking for? And even if you are, maybe you got a friend that's not, maybe you got a cousin that's not, and you might want to link them up with this. All right, so I'm going to go into this a little bit, and I'm going to go into some of the things about dating strategies and some of the problems that we're having, men and women are having in this dating game, right? So nowadays, one of the biggest issues we run into is we live in the participation trophy era. This is like, people feel like I should just be able to show up and somebody should automatically like me. I should get a girl, I should get a guy, I should get the relationship that I'm looking for. It's kind of like when you look at people even in the job market. People will get a job and they'll think, hey, I showed up on time every day, I should get a promotion. No, that's a baseline. You were supposed to show up on time every day. That's not a promotable thing. That's what you were supposed to do. That's what you actually got your paycheck for, was showing up on time every day. So with that type of mentality and that type of philosophy on life, what most people do is they never learn how to stick out. They never learn how to actually earn the things that they're looking for and earn the success that they want. And for a lot of you, people have told you that trying to stick out was, trying too hard, being a pick me, and whatever other negative connotation that people have on trying. Now, obviously, if you're not trying, you're not going to succeed. How can you win when you don't even try? But unfortunately, like so many people have been taught, don't try, don't put the effort in, don't do any of that. This is what we're dealing with when we actually try to stand out and we actually try to start getting the things that we want to get out of the dating experience. This goes into what Trish talked about, and Trish was saying standing out with actions that lean to that without using actions that lean toward the awkward, right? Because we always find a balance between trying hard and looking like you're trying hard. When you start looking like you're trying hard, that's when you start hitting the awkward. When you're going out of your way or you're looking crazy out here because you're just trying to get the attention on you in a way that's obvious. When you're actually not bringing the attention towards you, but you're going out there to seek out the attention. The key to sticking out is actually bringing the attention towards you. The key to sticking out is actually operating at a different frequency than those around you. Not necessarily jumping up and going, hey, look at me, how can I stick out? For some of y'all who know, y'all know I'm going to go into my jobs as I talk to y'all. For some of y'all who know this, I actually do acting. I've been acting for years. What they'll generally tell you on a set, like when you talk to when directors will tell extras on a set, is they'll say, look, If everybody's doing something, you need to do it too. And if extras want to stick out, what they'll do is they'll just do something slightly different. It doesn't even have to be like a look at me type of thing. Because if everybody is cheering and you start cheering too, even if you cheer the loudest, nobody's going to notice you. They just won't notice you. I want y'all to watch this when y'all watch a film one day. Go back and watch some of your movies, right? Some of your favorite movies. You've picked this up subconsciously, but you probably didn't even notice it. But go back to some of your favorite movies and look at it like big crowd scenes and figure out which person you noticed the most. It's going to be whoever was operating at a different frequency than the entire crowd. So if the crowd was yelling, yeah, firecracker, sis, boom, bye. You're not going to notice the person who's yelling the loudest, who's getting all into it. You're not going to notice them. You're going to notice the person who was on their phone. You're going to notice the person who looked left when everybody else looked right. You're going to notice the person who had their hands out when everybody else had their hands up. That's who you would notice in a crowd. Somebody who's operating at a different frequency. That's going to be important as we go forward, because it's not going to be about how hard you go and how much you put into just going hard and sticking out, as much as it is the strategy that you use. What's up? I'm seeing some of y'all getting on here. Hit that super chat button if y'all want to ask questions, if y'all want to kind of get involved. Make sure y'all support the chat. Hit that super chat button. You know, we already got Tish. She already hit it up. Appreciate you. But you got to learn this concept when we want to stick out. How do we stick out? We have to operate at a different frequency than those around us. I'm going to give an example of social media. For a lot of people, you don't recognize this, but social media is like the biggest dating site. Whether it's Instagram, Facebook, any of that. These are whether they call them dating sites or not, they're dating sites. All right. People get on Instagram, people get on Facebook, people get on Snapchat, and they holler. Maybe they're not hollering at you, maybe they're not hollering at somebody else, but they do holler. All right. So when you get on Snapchat, when you get on Instagram, when you get on Facebook, I want you to look at your profile. I want you to look at the things you post. And then I want you to look at somebody, be real with yourself, somebody comparable to you. So if you're a young lady, you feel like, hey, I'm a pretty good looking young lady. I'm from Georgia. I'm middle class. I got a white collar job. I went to school at one of these universities. If that's who you are, I want you to look at everybody that you know that's kind of similar to you. And then what I want you to do is ask yourself if the post that you put up, the pictures that you have, the things you talk about are exactly like them. Because I'll tell you, 99 times out of 100, they are. 99 times out of 100, you're pretty much walking the line with everybody else, especially when it comes to relationships. So if your homegirl put up a post talking about all men are dogs, what did you do on that post? Did you co-sign and like? Did you say the same thing she said? Or did you come in at a different frequency? Did you say something totally different? Okay, she said all men are dogs. Well, I'm going to come back and say something like, no, that's not been my experience, girl. I'm about to, even if it has been your experience, hey, I'm going to present something different. Because you could call that pick me if you want to. You could call that whatever. But I am going to present something different because that makes me stand out. That makes me different from everybody else. All of y'all on the same frequency. All of y'all over here liking it, commenting, saying the same thing. Okay, I'm about to get attention from a guy that I actually want to talk to because I'm going to show that I'm not like that. This is an opportunity for me to show that I'm not like that. This is one of the top player moves. Have y'all ever noticed that if you see men saying something that's like bashing women in some kind of way, or maybe they're not even bashing women, maybe they're just complaining about their own personal experiences. 99 times out of 100, the person that will actually come in and say something in defense of women is the player. They call him a simp, they call him lame and all that, but he's actually a lot of times the player. Because what he'll do is he'll say, look, I see y'all coming in at this frequency, making these women feel a certain type of way. I know that we might all be operating on a similar or close to same level. So what I'm going to do instead of that is I'm going to come in here and make women think I'm not like all the rest of these guys. Even though I am. I'm going to come in and make her think that I'm not like all the rest of these guys. By the time she figures out to the contrary, she going to be making me French toast. I'm going to be smashing for a couple years. She going to be running my bathwater, calling me king online. See, this is something that men learn because oftentimes men can't get their base needs met by women unless they kick game. So as a woman, a lot of times you might have zero game, but at least you find a dude that you can sleep with. At least guys will talk to you and pay some attention to you. Where a lot of guys, if they don't have game, they can't even get their base needs met. They can't even smash. They can't even get a girl to really spend any significant amount of time talking to them. They're not even able to get like base interactions with women because they don't have game. This is where a lot of women struggle, because if you're getting base needs met, then you're not really developing game to get the things that you want that are higher than that. This is where a lot of women find it difficult to get some of the things that they need. So what women will see as game a lot of times is really like shaming culture. A lot of you ladies don't stick out in the crowd in a positive way because some of y'all think that game is trying to shame somebody into liking you and liking what you bring to the table. I was talking to a lady, because I do these profile reviews for people, so this really gives me an opportunity to really look into you ladies and gentlemen and see exactly what it is you're doing wrong online and watch an immediate change in your success when I change some of the things that you're doing. So I was talking to a young lady. She has 2 kids. So she was like, yo, I'm trying to do a profile review. I look at her, their pictures aren't bad. You know, nice looking lady. She's got her stuff together as far as her finances. She's got her stuff together, you know. But I look at her Facebook, I look at a couple other different social media that she has, and I recognize that on her social media, all she has is shaming tactics for guys who don't want to date her because she has kids. A real man would step up and take care of somebody else's kids. A real man, it takes a real man to raise kids that aren't his. She has some other stuff. It takes a real man to mend a heart that he didn't break. So I hit her up and I was like, you know, I replied and gave her the review, and I was like, look, first of all, take that stupid stuff down. Take that down right now. She was like, well, that's what I believe. I was like, I don't care what you believe. I don't care, because nobody is going to respond to that and say, yeah, I want to date you. That's not game. That ain't it, player. How are you going to get somebody to date you by trying to make them feel like they have to or they're supposed to? All you're doing is highlighting what people would see as a negative. That's just like if a guy is broke and he's out here like, it take a real woman to rock with a broke man. It take a real woman to drive you to work every day in your car. It take a real woman to steal gas with a man. You can't really do that anymore, but you know, for people who was driving like in the early 2000s and in the 90s and stuff like that, but yeah, where people could do that. But if a guy put that up, of course you're not gonna be like, oh, you know what, you're right. I guess I should date a broke man. I guess I should hit you up. No one's gonna care. So what I told her, I was like, look, you have to start putting your best foot forward. Stop talking about people taking care of your kids for you. Stop talking about people being obligated to do something for you, and start talking about what you bring to the table and what you can actually do for them. Start talking about how you being a mother and having a family makes you different from women who don't have those things. Start talking about how you've matured. Start talking about how you've grown from your situation. Start talking about how you want to add to a man's life. Even if you really don't want to do all of that, talk about it anyway. Talk about it anyway. Present a certain type of situation, a certain type of person. Operate at a different frequency than the other people around you. You see a million women with kids with these old real men step up and all this crap post. Don't do what they do. Double back and crap on them chicks and be like, I don't expect anybody to take care of my children. All I want to do is take care of my man. I want to get a man and rub his feet and run his bath water. You know, I remember they tried to cancel that Cater to You song that Beyonce and Destiny's Child did. You know, and I was like, that's some old sour grape stuff right there. How you gonna try to cancel Cater to You just because you don't want to cater to somebody, or you catered to the wrong person and it didn't work out for you? That's not how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to look at what Beyonce is talking about and use that as an opportunity for you to kind of do the same thing. Yo, Beyonce got a lot of credit for that, right? Beyonce got a lot of love for that. Why not operate and piggyback what Beyonce was out here doing? Why not talk about catering to my man? Why not show my man love? Why not talk about being a real strong woman for my dude? If you did that, it sets you apart from other people. It makes you stick out. Now you get more of the attention that you're looking for. I tell this to guys too. Don't think that I just talked to y'all about this. When I see guys out here complaining, man, Chad, bro, man, why don't these girls talk to me? What about the average guy? Why can the average guy not get the hot girl? Why would somebody put time and energy into being hot? It actually takes work to look good. So why would some lady put her time, energy, and effort into looking good to date somebody who has admitted that they are just average? You want to date the hot girl, right? That's what you just said. Why can't you get the hot girl? You didn't say, why can the average guy not get the ugly girl or the average girl or the slightly below? You said, why can the average guy not get the hot girl? Which basically means that you want somebody who is better than you have admittedly said that you are. At what point did you start saying, hey, let me boost myself up? Let me start bringing a little bit more to the table so I don't have to worry about that. Let me start bringing a little bit more to the game so that I don't have to worry about what the average person can get. That's just like saying, when is the average person going to become a millionaire? Never. Because even if you win a lottery, you're not average, you're extremely lucky. I see ladies that say, well, God gonna send me a man. I don't have to change nothing. God gonna send me the right man, and the right man gonna just come along. Man, I got a cousin who is always talking about, yo, God gonna work it out for me, cuz. God gonna work it out. He ain't had a job in about 15, 20 years. God gonna work it out for me, cuz. And every time he says that in front of anybody, they go in on him. Man, you need to get a job. You need to work. You need to start working it out for yourself. Man, you can't expect. But those same people will say, God gonna send me a man. At what point are you supposed to be an active participant in your own rescue? Is it really that hard to stop putting angry posts on the internet? Is it really that hard to dress up and go out with some friends and smile? Is it really that hard? I mean, I understand you might need some divine intervention for certain stuff, But have you done everything you can do? Make sure y'all hit that super chat, man. Ask some questions. Send me some shots out. You know what I mean? All of that. No, I see where somebody asked if they put your real name on there. No. They whatever you're using your name as far as whatever your name is on here, that's all they use. So if you super chat, I'm not gonna know you unless you got your real name on here. Alright. Make sure you hit me up on this super chat. Make sure you ask me some questions. We're gonna get deeper into this. Talk more about this dating game and how to stand out. Alright, I want to get rid of some myths too. People think that you got to be physically, you got to look a certain way, whatever you might want to call a 10 or whatever. People think that that's the only way you can stand out, whether it's in person, whether it's online, or whatever. Well, I'm going to give y'all this information. First of all, anybody you see online and you're saying this person is a 10, 99 times out of 100, if you saw them in person, you wouldn't even recognize them. That's real talk. So don't hold yourself to that standard. Heck, you could do that with filters. You could do that working angles. You could do that. Thank you, Brina Nicole. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna get your question. You could do that same thing with just put a couple of dollars into well, really nothing. You could put a couple of dollars into some makeup. You could work some filters, and work some angles. It doesn't take much to stand out on an internet profile picture. Some of y'all just too proud to do it. Okay, let's see. How do you know if you come off intimidating? Why do women still get F-boys' attention when they present themselves in a respectable way? Well, that's actually a really good question. All right, no matter what you do, you're going to get attention from fuckboys. Period. No matter what you do. You can't stop yourself from getting attention from the wrong types of people. It's only whether or not you get your attention from the right types of people. Because most of the time, the people that you're really calling fuckboys, that's everybody. It's just how they're treating you in that situation and what you're willing to put up with. So most of the time, I'm going to be 100% real with you. Most of the time, you might be real respectable. You might seem like a really nice person and be cool. But most of the time, when all you're attracting is a lot of that, real cocky, negative type of energy, what's normally happening is the way that you carry yourself isn't intimidating, isn't off-putting to somebody who doesn't care. But it a lot of times is off-putting to somebody who is really invested in talking to you. See, I work with guys and girls. And one of the things that you're going to see over and over and over again, especially you ladies, one of the things you're going to see over and over and over again is the guys who are most invested in you are going to have the most nervousness when dealing with you or trying to talk to you. The guys who are the least invested are going to be the ones who are going to come up most of the time and kick game, talk to you, big smile on their face, and say all the right things. So you have to make sure, if you want to attract people who are really invested, who really like you a lot, who putting you up on a pedestal, you have to make sure that you do keep that smile on your face. You got to make sure that you do scope and look for interest. I know some of y'all don't want to do no work. I get it. But you got to make sure that you're scoping and looking for interest. Because when somebody is really interested in you, you got to look at from this perspective. I'm going to do it like this. Say you looking for a job, right? And it's your dream job. It's the one you always wanted. It's like, this is my dream. You're telling me you're not going to go to the interview and your palms not going to sweat a little bit? Your throat not going to be a little bit dry? You're not going to be a little bit hesitant? You're going to be sitting by the phone waiting like, oh man, I hope they call me. Oh man, I hope they don't. You know what I mean? Of course you're going to be like that because you really want the job. You're holding it on a pedestal. It's important to you. But when it's just a job, like, remember when you was young or whatever, you was getting them little jobs for the summertime, and you were like, look, I'm just trying to get enough to go on spring break. I'm just trying to get enough to get my car, get my little car insurance, whatever get a cell phone, whatever it is you're trying to do. Your palms wasn't sweating. Your throat wasn't dry when you went to the interview. You was like, they don't hire me here. I can sweep up floors anywhere. You didn't really care. So that's one of those things that you got to understand when you present yourself in public. You have to actually be cognizant of what's happening and look for interest in people that you would be interested in. So if you see somebody you're interested in, soften the demeanor a bit. All right? Soften your demeanor a bit. Put a smile on your face. And make sure that people see you talking and having a good time. Because if you're not doing that, a lot of times you're going to attract the people who just don't care. People who don't take cues. People who don't care if you don't seem like you want to talk to anybody. You ever notice that you might go somewhere and maybe say you don't want to talk to anybody? Maybe you being as standoffish, as cold-hearted as you possibly can. That's when you might get the attention from the most player type of dudes. Like, you're like, man, I know this dude's a player. And sometimes you get it from the worst type of guys too. Like guys that they be drunk, they be belligerent, they trying to grab. A lot of times you get that when you have more of a standoffish type of energy, because that repels everybody who would look for cues and only want to talk to a girl who is feeling them, but it brings on the attention of people who don't care one way or the other. What else we got? Hit me up. Make sure y'all getting these super chats. Now we're talking about this in the chat a little bit. Neglecting your social media, neglecting your networking time, getting out with your friends, getting out with family members, getting out with people. When you do this, it generally makes you desperate when you actually get a chance to interact with somebody. Even if your desperation shows itself in different ways. Look, just because somebody doesn't call you right away or doesn't make up the connection that you want in the way you want, and you respond to that by just like, oh, I'll never talk to you again, that doesn't mean that you're not desperate. That is a form of desperation. Not being able to let things roll off your shoulders is a form of desperation. Because if you were really cool with being single, like a lot of y'all say you are, I'm cool with being single. I'm just not with the BS. I match energy. If you were really cool with being single, you wouldn't be on that type of time. If somebody called you 1 week and then called you 2 weeks later, if you thought the person was cool and you wanted to hang out, you would just go ahead and do it because you're cool with being single. You're not putting a lot on it. You don't care if it turns out to be a relationship. You don't care if they ever call you again. You're like, hey, I had a good time that day, so that's what's up. But most of y'all be lying to yourself and you're not cool being single. This is why you put so much on every situation, every encounter that you have with a person. If you go out on a date, it's got to be marriage or bust. They got to call you back 50,000 times. They got to call you right away, or you start getting antsy and getting angry, so you block them. That's desperation. And a lot of that comes from the fact that you're not getting outside victories. When I was playing basketball, back when I was younger, I used to be one of those people who would really just foul the hell out of people. I would foul the hell out of people, bro. Because I'd be on the court and I would get really mad. Because I just take the game really seriously. I'd be mad at my teammates. I'd be going in. One time this dude told me, he said, bro, you got to get some off the court victories. I was like, what? He was like, you got to get some off the court victories. You're taking this too seriously, man. And I realized that I was putting so much into that game that I really wasn't putting enough time into my regular life. I really wasn't doing things that made me feel like, hey, if the ball go out of bounds, it's no big deal. This is where neglecting things, like just interacting with people, even if it's on social media or going out and hanging out with your friends, this is where neglecting that type of stuff makes you desperate. It makes it far less likely that you'll be able to have a healthy interaction with anybody. So y'all got anything else? Hit me up. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit that super chat button. I'm gonna go with some of the stuff that people talk to me about in my DMs because I know, these are the issues that some of y'all are having. People often talk to me about dating as older women because I get a lot of people who I work with people of all ages, so I get a lot of people who are like in their mid to late 30s, 40s, 50s, and sometimes up. And a lot of y'all have become really discouraged as far as the dating situation is concerned. Now, I know you hear a lot of stuff out there that makes you feel discouraged in a lot of cases. But the reality is dating it doesn't mean that because you get older, nobody is messing with you. But what does have to happen is you have to develop new game. Some of y'all still kicking high school game, but you're 39, 40 years old, and you wonder why it doesn't work. You're listening to somebody who got with their significant other in high school telling you, yeah, you need to hold out, girl. You need to wait till they get married, till you get married. And then people want to be like, oh, that's biblical. Yeah, but you got divorced. You were sleeping with people beforehand. That's not biblical. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't try to do this balancing act where you mix and match the pieces that you want and then leave the rest. Because that's just trying to get somebody else to buy into your ideology. And that's probably not going to happen. This is what I see with a lot of older women who are struggling to get into relationships and stay in them. A lot of older women struggle because ultimately what you do is you get with somebody, you try to enjoy it, but you're desperate in a lot of cases. You feel like I'm running out of time. I got to do it now. I got to get married and all of that. And that makes it difficult for the person because they're like, wait a minute. You lived your entire life doing what you wanted to do. Now that we get together, we've been together for 6 months to a year. Now I got to be on your timeline. Now all of a sudden you want to get married and have kids and all of that. And you want to do it within a year. That's the desperation thing that makes getting older more difficult. You got to realize when you get older, this whole dating with a purpose and all this nonsense, that's not going to work because nothing has changed other than the fact that you got older. So you're trying to take your timeline and your dating situation and in most cases try to shame somebody else into falling in line with that. Try to basically get upset when they don't want to do it. This isn't going to work, and this is what makes it more difficult to date when you're older. You create this sense of urgency, and yeah, sometimes it may be your biological clock because you didn't have kids, but you got to remember these are decisions that you made already. trying to rush forward and all that kind of stuff. You might well try to freeze your eggs or something. Because this rushing and all of that, all it does is make people uncomfortable because now you don't get to know them. So you're most likely going to get married and get divorced because you're going to find out a bunch of stuff about them that you don't like because all you really wanted to do was get married and have kids. It wasn't necessarily to them because you don't know them. Now you go through one marriage after another trying to speed up. You got to realize that things move at the pace that they move at. If you meet somebody at 40 years old, enjoy dating at 40, just like you would have if you were 20 years old. You'll probably get married. You're probably more likely to get married doing it that way because now you're just looking for a fun, happy relationship rather than just finding somebody and trying to make them marriage material. Oh, well, I'm 40, so this is my husband. I don't even really like him like that. We don't get along. I don't really even know his middle name, but this is hubby right here. You know, you're just trying to shoehorn somebody into a life plan. That's what I see as far as older women dating. It's not that you're older most of the time. It's just that what your agenda is makes it to where dating becomes extremely difficult. Y'all make sure y'all mash the like button. Keep hitting that like button. What else we got? Somebody hit this super chat. Ask me some questions. Come on, keep it going. Okay, we got okay. What's up? You back, Miss Sadie? What's going on? If I say y'all names wrong, y'all don't get too mad at me. I do the best I can. You know what I'm saying? I think dating works for fun. I think dating for fun works out better. However, how do I date as a spiritual woman? I normally run cards during my dates, and I'm very spot on. Okay, so you're doing like tarot cards or something like that. I ain't super familiar, you know, and I'm not a spiritual advisor or nothing like that. But I can't say this. I can give you general advice, even though, like I said, I'm not trying to be nobody's spiritual advisor. But whatever it is you bring to the table, whatever it is you do, like if you pray on a date, if you exercise on a date, whatever it is you bring that you like to do, and whatever it is you believe in, that's cool. That's on you. Whatever it is you believe in. But when you date, just enjoy the date. Just have a good time. If you like to do the cards or whatever, I don't know if I would bring that out just to keep it a buck. I don't know if you do it like at the table or something like that at a restaurant, because you want to focus on the person, not telling them, hey, this is what I think about you. You know, unless y'all talked about that beforehand or something like that. I don't know if you want to just go out there and start reading cards for the person or start saying, hey, this is what I think about you or this is what I feel. But whatever it is you're getting, whatever vibes you get off a person, that's cool. But dates are about having a good time, just like friendships are, just like going to an amusement park is. It's not going to be like, hey, when I meet somebody, I'm going to fall in love and get married right away. What you got to do is you got to connect with people, talk to people, engage with them, and do it for the sake of doing it. Do it for the sake of going out. What's up, BSC? This is your first time being in here. A lot of other people I recognize from before. Let's see what you got. What action should we take to address the awkwardness, desperation after we neglect dating and struggle with confidence? That's a good question. It's just like anything in life. Control what you can control. Control what you can control, and that makes it a lot easier to accept what you can't control. So if you deal with a lot of awkwardness, if you deal with a lot of desperation when you're dating, if you feel uncomfortable when you go out on dates, start getting more control over the things you can control. Start asking yourself, what makes me feel more confident? For some people, it's dressing up. For some people, it's going to familiar spots. For some people, it's role playing even with friends and family members. Do some of the things that you need to do to make you feel comfortable. Also, make sure that you get back out there and get more options. So, if you're going out on a date on Tuesday, don't just get off the dating app because you're going out on a date on Tuesday. You don't know how that's going to work out. Keep talking to people. Keep a next option waiting. I know some people will tell you not to do that, but y'all not married. Y'all not, spending the rest of your life together. Keep some options open. That way you're not hanging everything on that one date. Oh man, if this date don't go right, it's back to the drawing board. I'm alone again. So what you want to do is you want to get out there in the world. You want to talk to as many people as you can. You want to get on dating sites. You want to get on Instagram, social media, all of that. Get on there. Connect with a lot of people. With a whole lot of people. And if you can do that, then it's going to make it a lot easier. It's going to take the edge off of whatever you got coming next. Hey, y'all, if we get up to 100, if we get up to $100 in the super chats, I'm going to tell a story from my life. I'm going to tell y'all a story about my life. It's going to be funny. It's going to be entertaining for y'all. If we get up to $100, I'm going to hit a story time with Chaz. Some of y'all remember this from back in the day where I used to do a lot of these stories. Go ahead and hit that up, and I'm going to do that. So we'll go into a little bit more about desperation. What y'all guys, what a lot of y'all ladies don't realize is guys deal with this too. This desperation thing. Like, you ever talk to a guy and he seemed really nervous and he seemed like he was overthinking everything? What's up, Tish? Appreciate you. Y'all ever talk to a guy that seemed like he's really nervous and he was just like, he overthought everything, right? So you didn't call him right away. He's like, oh, see, you ain't calling the brother. Okay, I understand. You ever talk to a guy that was like that? Most of the time, that exists because he doesn't have parallel options to you. So he doesn't have anyone that's close to you that he's dealing with and talking to, and he's hung everything up on this relationship, even when y'all don't have a relationship. Y'all might have just met last week, and most of the time that's going to be a turnoff to you because he comes off as crazy. You got to understand, as a woman, when you do those things, you come off as crazy too. You coming off as a nut job to a lot of guys. So the best way not to do that is to have options and get parallel options. This means you got to constantly be stepping your game up and constantly be stepping up the way you present yourself. So just going out in social settings isn't enough. It's just like if a guy go out to the club or go out to the bar and he over here in a hoodie and, some cut-off jeans, some cut-off jean shorts. It's not like he gonna come out pulling a lot of girls. He's standing against the wall like this, twiddling his thumbs. He's not gonna pull girls. Why would you think that you're gonna get more options if you go out to the club or you go out to the bar and you just stand against the wall twiddling your thumbs? You didn't even try to dress up. You're not smiling. You're not happy. None of that. What do you expect to gain? Appreciate y'all. So we're gonna so what do you expect to gain? What do you expect to gain if you're not doing that? You're not putting yourself in a position where you're attracting people who operate at a parallel level to what you're trying to get or you already have. Like, for instance, say somebody that you like talks to you and you're like, man, this dude is good looking. This dude got everything I was looking for. He's smart, funny, all of those things. Well, now you got to keep going out and you got to keep attracting. Because once you feel like you can get that on a consistent basis, now you're not going to seem so awkward. Now you're not going to seem so desperate. and you're going to be able to have more fun with it. You're not going to be like, oh my God, he didn't call me. Oh, I should blow his phone up. I should block him. I should threaten his mama. Don't do that, Don't do that. That's how you get a restraining order. All right, let's get up to 100. I'm going to do a story. Come on, man. It's enough of y'all in here. I see some people just getting it in over and over again. Everybody got to get a part of it. Be a part of it. Be a part of the little super chat. Come on now. Also, make sure y'all hitting that like button. It's 54 people in here right this second, and I don't see 54 likes. So make sure y'all hit that. But yeah, a lot of it is just like anything else in life. Like, think about this. If you got $100,000 in your bank account and you lose $1 on the ground, right? You're not gonna be tripping off of that dollar because you got $100,000 in your bank account. But have you ever been down to your last in the machine, took your 2 quarters, and you damn near lost your mind? You over hitting the machine. You going crazy. You damn near lost your mind. That's how it is with dating and your strategies. If you don't have options because you're not creating them for yourself, because you're not putting yourself out there, you're not putting your best foot forward, then you are going to lose your mind whenever something doesn't go exactly the way you want it to. Thanks, Regina. She just got in here. I'm getting you right now, Brian Nicole. I'm getting you right now. I might be messing your name up. Give me the phonetic spelling if I'm messing it up. Let me see. I think you might have asked a couple questions. What would be a good way to start going out on dates, especially if there were missed opportunities due to not being in the right time or jealous? That's what's up. Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up. That happens to everybody, and that's a good ass question. That is a good ass question. A lot of times what happens, right, is people ask you out. You run into people, and it's not the right time. I remember one time when I was young, I was at a party, and my brother was like, yo, look at girl over there. That's the type of girl. That's your type right there. And I was like, man, the song is whack. I can't do it. I can't go over there and dance with her. And he told me, you can't pick the girl and the song. You know what I mean? Hey, you gotta pick one or the other, bro. So, that's kind of how that goes. Now, as far as getting back out, after you haven't dated in a while, the biggest thing with that is go ahead and dip your toes in the water. That means when somebody asks you out, as long as they're not crazy, you know what I'm saying, and none of that, go out. You don't have to be like, this is the man of my dreams. I love him to death. He's asking you out because he's interested in you. If you were somebody he wasn't interested in, he wouldn't ask you out. If you wasn't presenting yourself a certain way, he wouldn't ask you out. So you got a right to go out, enjoy yourself, and that's also going to help you get your feet wet so you can go out again and again and again and again. Now you become more comfortable, so when you do go out with people you really, really like, or somebody you're really super interested in, it'll be easier for you to be comfortable and be successful ultimately. Let's get up to that 100. I'm going to tell y'all a story. Story time with Chaz. It's going to be about my old days in comedy. I'm going to tell y'all something. For some of y'all who don't know, I used to be a stand-up comedian, one of the millions of jobs that I've had over the years. Some of y'all see me in different shows and stuff like that, and y'all put them up there, or y'all send them to me from the acting stuff. But yes, I also did stand-up comedy, and I'm going to tell y'all a story from my stand-up days. Amy Sue, what's up? I see some of y'all coming on Been on multiple days. I appreciate y'all. We got some new faces too. You might not believe this, but if I interact with you, I'll probably remember you forever. Well, I don't want to say forever, but as much as I know, I'll keep remembering you. Okay, Amy. How do you connect with new people on social media? The only people I'm connected with are those people from my small town. This is one of the things that sucks about being from a small town. There are plenty of ways to connect. One of them is joining groups based on your interest. So like say you're on Facebook or whatever. See, look, just right now, you had somebody ask you about what your IG was. And that's just because you did basically what I was talking about. Getting on and commenting. If you join groups based on your interest and you start making comments, putting your opinion out there, putting your best foot forward, you're going to get people to want to connect with you also. People are going to want to talk to you. People want to get to know who you are. Because a lot of times what happens is maybe you come from a small town, maybe you just moved somewhere, and you a lot of times be in a situation where you don't put yourself out there. You try to stay in your comfort zone. Then you don't get to know anybody. You don't get to know new people. So when you want to know new people, go out according to your interests. Social media makes it so easy to do that because you can join groups that are specifically catered to things that you care about. So you can meet people who care about things that you care about. If you like plant-based stuff because you're a vegan or something like that, you could go on dozens and dozens of vegan groups. If you like exercise, you can go on exercise groups. If you like politics, you can go on political groups. You can do all of that and from the comfort of your own home. It's just a matter of doing it. But once you get on the groups, you can't just sit there and do nothing. It's just like going to the club and standing on the wall twiddling your thumbs. You also can't be a part of the group and not talk and not say anything, because that's like when you go to the club and you just don't interact with anybody. And you also got to put your best foot forward with your pictures and all of that too, and your profile pic. If you're going to join the group looking good, just like you show up to the club looking good. You have an opportunity to create the narrative. You have an opportunity to let people see you in the light that you want to be seen in. Thank you, Lulu. I'm going to get to you just in a second. You have an opportunity to do that. Right? So make that a thing. Let's see. Y'all bear with me a little bit. If I miss you, I'm gonna try to roll right back to you, okay? I think I missed you, Trish. I got you though. I just was alerted that I missed you. Hi, Chaz. I support your gift. Look, this is Lulu. Appreciate you. Thank you for your video and your lives. Can you advise me on how to reconnect with my 1-year-old's father? I want to be a family. How can I make this attractive to him? Well, in a lot of cases, it is attractive to the person to be a family. I know people would want to believe that dudes just don't want to be around their kids and all that kind of stuff. Normally, if y'all actually had a real relationship, you could easily make it attractive to somebody to get back in the relationship. Here's the thing. First of all, be cool. You got a kid with the guy. So be a cool baby mama. Try to foster a deeper and stronger connection with him and the kid. I don't know what the connection is like right now or whatever. Maybe it's good already, but make it better. And be somebody who facilitates. See, what a lot of ladies will do is you're trying to be like, let me hold the kid back so you got no choice but to get with me to be with the kid. And when you do that, it really just breaks apart the relationship. It makes it too difficult for the man to even be in the child's life. So he kind of looking at it like, I don't even like you. You was trying to make me have to jump through hoops to be with my kid. Why would I ever get back with you? I'm not saying you're doing that, but I'm saying do the opposite. Make sure you make it easy for him to be around the child. So that could be, because that already is a real bond that you guys have. Y'all have a blood connection to one another through that child. That's something that you can build on. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, you got to acknowledge some of the things that broke you up on your part. I know you might feel like, hey, it was his fault or whatever. I don't know. But you got to acknowledge some of the things that may have broke you up on your part. And address some of the things that he may have had concern with. That's how you make it attractive. We generally want to go with the familiar. If y'all were together for long enough where y'all had a baby and y'all had a connection, then that means that you're more familiar. You already got a baby. So a lot of times you're more familiar to him. So it's going to be more attractive for him to just go back to that situation if all things are equal. So don't dwell on the past. Be cool. Make sure you really foster that relationship between him and that child. Do everything you can to be a conduit for that relationship to blossom. Even if you got to go take the child over there. You said it's your daughter, right? I may have messed that up. But either way, make sure you do everything you can to connect. If you got to take the kid over there with him, if y'all can try to have little family time, don't force it, but make the offer. Like, hey, you want to do this together? Hey, she got her little, I don't know, whatever little birthday coming up. You want to come to it? You're invited. Do that around the child. You'll be surprised that just being in that family environment together and having a nice, friendly connection. Talk to her about loving daddy. I'm being dead ass, man. Talk to her about loving daddy. Make sure she feel like daddy hangs the moon. Because he's not going to want to let that go when he has it. Make sure that you really, really push that connection with him and her. Or him and him, whatever it is. Make sure you really push that connection. Because that's going to make it a lot easier for you to make the reconnection with him. Do it around the child. That's your greatest advantage, that you do have a kid with him. Hey, I don't know if some people are trying to say that's wrong to use that. I don't really care. I'm just giving you advice based on what you want to do. I ain't here to make no type of judgment. Okay, let me see what I might have missed. I think I got everybody right. For some of y'all who got kids by somebody, and because this is something that people talk about all the time, I do work with a lot of women with kids, and this is something that I've done quite a bit, is actually rebuilt relationships. I don't want to say rebuilt, helped people rebuild relationships with estranged parents of the co-parents, whatever you want to call it. And one of the biggest things that people run into is they're upset about the past. The fact that, whatever happened in the past, you cheated on me, I cheated on you, we fought all the time, whatever the case may be. Now they start looking at it and they start saying, man, I want this family situation back. Sometimes you get out there in the world and start dating and you realize somebody wasn't as bad as you thought they were. Whatever. And you want to reconnect. But a lot of times, there's a lot of damaged and burnt ground along the way from both parties. A lot of times, it's a lot of hateful words being passed back and forth. A lot of anger around the children. The court system has gotten involved. And because of that, people really, it's almost like the gulf is so wide. Start bridging that. Start making it about cooperation. If you have custody of the child, you can't dictate to the person using the court system and the custody system and expect them to trust you and want to be in a relationship with you. You can't do that. you got to start making it friendly and making it a cooperative relationship. You got to start with the child in that relationship. So you can't say, look, you can only see your kid every other weekend and whenever it's convenient for me or whenever I want to. I'm not saying you're doing that. If you're not, then, if it don't apply, let it fly. But if that is something you're doing because maybe you are a little bitter, maybe you're angry about the way things worked out, and you convinced yourself that this is a good idea, maybe your friends told you it was a good idea, you got to start undoing some of those things. You got to start walking it back and going the other way. Have your child hit daddy up and tell him how great he is. Hey, daddy, I love you. Make a reconnection. If you done had the kid calling somebody else daddy and now y'all done broke up, you got everything you did to make it wrong, you got to do twice as much to make it right. That's on you because some of the ground you burned in that situation. So it's up to you. It's going to be up to you to heal it also. Make the first move in that respect. Like people always say, the longest journey begins with a single step. Sometimes all it is just having your kid text their father or text their mother or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's just inviting somebody to a birthday party. Sometimes it's just inviting somebody to an amusement park. And then y'all start doing stuff as a family. And you start giving them greater ownership of the child, which makes them feel like you guys are his family. That's going to help you out. That's going to help you build. All right, if we get up to 100 before the chat is over, I'm going to do a story for y'all. I'm going to talk about my days as a comedian. Yo, Regina, thank you. Appreciate you. We getting there. Let's keep it going. If you're trying to reconnect with anybody, oh man, here, I got you. Sorry, Tish, I think I did miss you. My bad. I request this super chat that if you could answer 2 questions from the chat. Some of these questions are interesting. I enjoy your outlook. Okay. Let me see if I can get... Let me see if I can find some of these questions. Ladies, sorry about this. Somebody's asking about dating apps. So if you guys could put some of those on there that you prefer. I got different dating apps that I know people are on, but I don't like to endorse dating apps on here because for me it's about just trying to go ahead and help people do their thing. Man, I'm trying to find some of y'all on here. Y'all go ahead and hit me with some more questions if y'all haven't. It's my Jordan year. I make conscious effort to smile and talk to strangers, and I remain confident, and for forever no one has been interested in me. Yo, so you're saying that you're trying to smile, you're trying to connect with people, and you're not getting it. It ain't working out. Well, sometimes that is a baseline, all right? So you said smiling, talking to strangers, remaining confident. Okay, that's a baseline though. That's a baseline. Other people doing that too. You got to ask yourself, okay, if I did that, it's like building a house. What can I do to move forward? What can I do to add on to what I'm already doing? So if you're smiling, if you're talking to people, then you just got to start hitting some of the other things like, okay, how am I dressing when I go out? Am I connecting with people on social media also? Am I joining clubs and groups that are social settings for me to be able to have greater success? Am I bringing friends and other groups of people with me so people will see me talking to other people? Sometimes you need to bring the group so people see you talking to other people and they messing with you. You feel what I'm saying? They're like, oh, he seemed nice or she seems nice. Let me go over to this person and have a conversation with them. Let me, because I see him talking to other people. Sometimes you got to keep stepping it up. You can't just be like, okay, I did the bare minimum. If you're smiling and being nice to people, that's the bare minimum, okay? You got to do more than that. You're going to have to keep stepping it up. Go more places, bring buddies if you need to. Make sure you might have to dress in a 3-piece suit. You might have to dress in a prom dress. Whatever it is, you got to keep it up, okay? You got to keep it up. You got to keep stepping your game up, because it's about getting the results. Okay, this one, hey Chaz, how do you form a connection with a new man if you're shy? Okay, well, hey, sometimes being shy, it ain't, like some men are turned, you might feel like some men are turned off by being shy. Some are, but not everybody. If you're shy and you know you're shy, try to put yourself in settings that make it easier for you to communicate. Try to do things that make it easier for you to make a connection. And sometimes you can really just bring people to you, even if you are shy. Like, if you know you're the type of person that's going to be like, and you're not going to really do a whole lot of talking, that's okay. I talked about it before. Y'all might have missed it. I talked about when you have extras in the crowd and everybody's doing one thing, they can be cheering, yelling. The person who's on their phone will stick out more than the people who are yelling, whoever's doing something different. So if you're shy, if you know you're not going to be firecracker, sis, boom, bah, I'm out here, and you're going to be getting attention that way, when you're shy, sometimes you can just give a little look. Sometimes you can just give a little smile. And if you know you don't talk a lot when you meet people, you know that, sometimes you can even write down some questions that you want to ask the person to let them talk. Most people like to talk anyway. So if you're shy, you can really connect with people who like to talk. Just give them the opportunity to do it and seem interested. Really? And then what did you do? Wow. Okay. And you can write the questions down if you need to. Sometimes if you just take away some of the things that make you anxious, it's far easier for you to be able to connect with people. You don't have to be the most outgoing person. There's room in the world for everybody. You feel what I'm saying? You don't got to be the most outgoing. It doesn't have to be like that. But you can make a connection by just giving yourself all the tools you need beforehand. Okay, I'm about to go to law school, but I did not have a lot of experience in the dating world because I have been so focused on school. How do I step into the dating world in a healthy way? I'm 21. I mean, you're 21, so it's not like you just missed a whole decades or nothing like that. I mean, let's be real. You're 21, so how much dating have you really missed anyway? The key to getting out there is, because you're still in that club, young group, you still got people that you know that are networking. Use your friends in your friends group. Use the people who you've been going to school with all this damn time. You've been going to law school. Heck, I don't get this. You're in law school, right? That means that you already have an opportunity to get high level people on the way up. Why are you not tapping into them? And if not the people from your school, why not people from other schools? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You already have something you could talk to them about since y'all both know the law. All you gotta do is get in some forums, go hang out with some of your buddies, Go to some of the mixers and stuff like that. Things that you would even do for business. You're gonna be right there to meet the guys you want to meet. You got it made. You snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Sorry, got some caught in my little throat right here. All right, what else I got? Thank you, Lulu. I'm gonna try to go through here and come on, we close. Let's get up to this 100 and we'll and I'll do this story. I'm gonna do a story about the comedy days for y'all. I'm gonna try to hit some more of y'all questions. Yeah, a lot. I want to say this. Go back to this last question too, because a lot of times what ends up happening is, you won't look around you and see like, hey, here's opportunity right here. Sometimes it's too close. You know how they say you can't see the forest for the trees. Sometimes opportunities seem a little bit too close, so you're not hitting them up. You're not taking advantage of them. What do men need support emotional wise? Like, how can we help men as women in relationships? I mean, everybody needs something different as far as emotional support. Some people need more emotional support than others. A lot of times, the biggest thing is just listening without judgment. A lot of times what we do when we listen to somebody talk is, first of all, we judge them based on our scale and what we feel like people should want. Also, a lot of times we listen to talk. Like, okay, we want to respond. A lot of times you can support somebody so well by simply just listening and not judging. Simply just saying, like, what is it that you want to talk about? What is it that you care about? And I'm going to listen to you and let you tell your story, let you talk about what you care about. Because it don't even got to be about you. So listen without judgment and try to listen without taking it personally. So if somebody say, man, I just feel alone in the world. What you mean you feel alone when you got me? Look, it ain't personal. Sometimes people can just feel any kind of way, and you got to find how to let somebody vent and let somebody talk about something without taking it personally and without taking it as a personal attack on you and what you've done for them or what you haven't done. That's what I would say as far as support, because people be going through some stuff just like you, and sometimes you just want to help, but sometimes it's hard because it's one of those things where it's easy to get caught up in judgment or sometimes even feel personally attacked. Y'all keep hitting the like button, all right? Keep the likes up. I'm trying to go through here and see what y'all got. I don't read super fast, but hey, I ain't Floyd Mayweather or nothing like that. No, I'm just kidding. No, shout out to Floyd. No, I ain't trying to cloud with. You know what I'm saying? Dating. Look, I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. Dating, relationships, and everything. It's a lot of work. Some of y'all put that on there. Some of y'all talk about that. Dating, relationships, yeah, it is a lot of work, but anything worth having that's actually valuable is a lot of work. Nothing's gonna be easy, okay? Life doesn't really work that way, because if it was easy, like they always say, if it was easy, then everybody would do it. But that is true. Like, if it's easy, everybody does it. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be easy, because if it was easy, you wouldn't care about it either. Like, think about all the stuff you do really, really easily. 99 times out of 100, you don't even care about it. You want something that takes more effort. Okay, I would like to know more about social media and participating in a healthy way. YouTube and Black Planet is all I got. What, you got Black Planet? Is that still up? Nah, is that still up? Oh, but look, I'm surprised by that. How to participate in a healthy way. That's a good. This is a Tish experience. That's a good ass question, because that's true. I talk to you guys about social media a lot. I talk to you about participating on social media, but it can get toxic, bro. It can really get toxic. So yes, you do have to make sure that when you participate on social media, first of all, you do everything on your own terms. All right. And you know that may sound a little bit obvious. What's up, Cosmo Fire? Appreciate you. Cosmo Fire. I be messing up. You know, don't get mad at me. I be messing up. But no, you can really get involved in some of the toxic behavior. Yeah, okay, so Black Planet does still work. I didn't even know that, bro. I didn't even know that. So yeah, social media can become toxic when you're not doing it on your own terms. And when you're looking for validation on social media rather than trying to accomplish a goal. So if you get all dressed up, put your little makeup on, and you put up a picture and you don't get 150,000 likes, don't let that discourage you. If you put up something and somebody trying to say something negative, erase their comment and block them. Don't go back and forth with these folks. That's how you start participation in the toxicity of social media. When you get on there, you start scrolling down and looking at comments and videos and stuff like that from people you don't even like, from people who always got something negative to say. You get involved in the gossip. You got to come there. It's just like if you come to work. You got to come to work with a plan to make your money and get up out of there. Social media should be something that you're doing because you are benefiting from it. Something that you're doing because it's helping you. Not something that you just stuck to and you can't get off of even when you want to. In some cases, give yourself a doggone time limit on social media. If you know you can get bogged down in social media and all of that, give yourself a time limit. Like say, hey, I'm going to put my picture up. I'm going to interact with a couple people and then I'm out. Turn them notifications off. Except for my channel. Now, keep them notifications on, all right? But everything else, turn it off. Now, if you know stuff gets to you, turn the notifications off. You look at it when you get to it. This is something with cell phones and everything. I know some of y'all may be too young to remember this, but take my word for it. There was a time when you could only call people when they were at home. I know, right? It's wild. But there was a time when you could only call people when they were at home. And guess what? You still were able to talk to people and you just waited. Sometimes because we got this instant gratification thing, we wait. We get so caught up in like needing to get that instant gratification that we can't even be happy. You know what I mean? That we can't be happy till we get it. We put the picture up and we gotta have a like. This is the same desperation that we put into relationships. You see what I'm saying? You see how it always rears its ugly head? We do things for outcomes. When you put the pictures up, just put them up. If nobody likes them, that's cool. If I put a video up and nobody watches it or nobody likes it, hey, I did what I did. I put out there the information that I wanted to put out. If nobody was messing with it, I got to accept it and keep it moving. Because if I sit there and I go, well, nobody watched my video, so that makes me worthless, then how can I be happy? How can I be happy when my happiness totally contingents on that? It's totally contingent on that. I'm a successful, attractive, 47, no kids, never married. I feel like men think something is wrong with me because I don't have kids. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat for you, Natasha. Some people probably do think something wrong with you because you don't have no kids. They're like, damn, you're 47 years old. Why don't you have kids? And some people are going to be like, hey, that's cool. You're 47, you don't have any kids. You can't focus on the people who think something's wrong with you. All you got to do is not fill in the gaps. Because anytime, look, if you're good looking and you're single, people going to be like, why are you single? What's wrong with you? Period. If you're smart, funny, whatever, if you got anything going for you, people are already trying to figure out why you're single in the first place. It's just like if I sat here right now and I said, look, you can invest. I got this thing I want you to invest in. I guarantee you're going to make $1 million. I could be telling the truth. But you're not going to believe me right off. You're going to be looking like, man, what's wrong with it? Why would somebody offer me something good and nobody else got it? Nobody snatched it up already. Right? So sometimes you are working against that because if you had 12 kids by 12 different men, if you weren't attractive at all, if you talk stupid, you look stupid, you were dumb, you walk around with a badass attitude 24/7, then people will be like, oh, well, I can tell exactly why you don't have nobody. I can tell exactly why you're single. It makes perfect sense. But if you don't have those things, if you don't have those situations going on, then you're gonna have to work against some of the stereotypes. But hey, it works even better for you when you don't fill in the gaps. And they're like, dang, I got a good one. I'm lucky. All right, so you gotta accept the fact that some people are gonna think that way, and if you can just keep doing your thing, it won't matter. Hey, when we get up to 100, we 8 cents away from me telling the story. I'm gonna talk about my days as a stand-up comedian. That's what the story is gonna be about. Let's get in it. What else do we got? Chaz, I want to work on my self-improvement. Would it be best to put off dating until you get comfortable? To a comfortable point with yourself. Okay, she's asking, should she put off dating until she gets to a comfortable point with herself? No. People say this crap all the time. I'm going to use it. I like to use sports examples because sports is the greatest meritocracy where we get actual outcomes that are non-debatable. If you told me you was going to work on your basketball game, if you told me you was going to work on yourself as a player, yo, I'm going to work on my fitness. Yo, I'm going to work on just the way I see the game. I'm going to work on how I deal with the crowd, whether, how I deal with the referee's calls and whether they piss me off or not. Would it be a good idea to not play basketball while you did that? Would it be a good idea to say, yeah, I'm going to stop playing basketball while I work on my basketball game? While I work on my ability to do better as a ball player? That doesn't make any sense. How are you going to get feedback to recognize that you're doing things right if you stop interacting with people? Let's be real, that's what you're trying to accomplish in most cases, is you're trying to build a good relationship. Let's keep it a buck. So no, I don't think you should do that. Chaz, what do you do if your ex what do you do if your ex deletes us? What's off socks? Oh, that's why I was messing up. Oh, you said social media. My bad. What do you do if your ex deletes you off social media? Look, I'm going to have to be real with you. I'm going to answer this question 2 ways. Now, are they deleting you off social media because they were mad in their feelings? If that's the case, you could probably get back with them anyway. I wouldn't worry about it. Are they deleting you off social media because you're on social media, calling them all kind of bitches and hoes, calling them deadbeats, talking about their family members, told everybody his mom used to be on the corner back in '76, and you didn't have to say that. Why? Why did you get deleted? So if you got deleted because they were in their feelings, then you know what? Truth be told, it ain't really anything to worry about. They're probably gonna reach out to you at some point once they get out of their feeling. If you got deleted because you out here talking trash, and you was out here, clowning their family members, putting up pictures of them trying to piss them off and they finally deleted your ass, then you might have to get out there and make some apologies if you want to reconnect. Which you do, otherwise you wouldn't care that they deleted you. I said the thing about dating and all of that kind of stuff to work on yourself. Diane, that's a good question. You said, but if she was a man, you would stop dating to get your money right. Yeah, men do that, and that's because they're stupid. Okay, I'm gonna tell this story here in a minute. Yeah, okay. So for some of y'all that's not in the chat and watching this, well, I just got a question about when I said don't stop dating to better yourself. She this young lady, this is a good question or a good comment even. She was like, well, if she was a man, she would stop dating to get the money right. Probably, and that's called stupidity. People tell men to do that because a lot of women don't want to date broke ass men. But that's actually dumb. If you're a man and you stop dating to try to get your money right, what you're basically doing is you're not dating and you're not finding somebody who's actually going to work with you while you're getting your money right. You're missing out on a partner who's going to grow with you, who actually like you for you. So you're going to get your bread and all that and get your little money and all that kind of stuff. And then who are you going to pick from there? Somebody who probably wouldn't even dated you while you was broke. People tell men to do that, but ultimately that generally doesn't work. And if you look at a lot of people got a partner and that's how they build their life. I mean, we could use people like Barack Obama and stuff like that. But a lot of people built their life because they had a good partner to do it with. There is a certain baseline that you have to be successful in relationships, sure. But you don't have to have it all together before you get with somebody else. Getting it all together takes a freaking lifetime. So how do you build? How do you connect with people? That's why you see so many dudes. I have clients like this who took that exact same advice. I work with guys too. I'm one of the few people who work with men and women. I have clients who have $1 million and more who cannot even have a conversation with a woman because they never practiced while they were broke. I'm going to get my money right, and then all of a sudden all these women just going to like me. Yeah, but you can't talk to them. You can't connect with them. You didn't build that part of your life. So that is bad advice, terrible advice. And I'm not saying you're giving that advice, but I'm saying a lot of people do. Okay, I want to hear the story. Okay, I got you. Tish. And you want to define standards versus expectations. Standards and expectations are pretty close to each other, but standards are something that you set on both sides, as far as I see it. You have standards that you say, hey, this is the bare minimum that I'm willing to accept, but it's also, I have a bare minimum that I'm willing to give and a standard that I hold myself to. Like, for instance, if I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be in a basement watching Netflix, eating pineapples out of a can with somebody on a first date. Well, that means you also don't show up to a first date with not dressing well, no makeup on, without a smile on your face, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't show up on a first date a certain way. You have to have a standard for yourself. A lot of times with expectations, that's just what it's words, it's semantics, word games, but a lot of times with expectations, like, hey, this is what I expect out of every situation, and I'm not going to do it unless I get this outcome. Well, you're going to be mad most of the time because you're going to just be disappointed. All right, we're going to go into this story real quick. All right, so I used to be a stand-up comedian, like I was telling you, and I would go out and do different venues. It was like a group. This is kind of how stand-up works. A lot of times you get a group of people that you're cool with, and as y'all travel, because when you first start out, a lot of times you ain't really getting no bread, so y'all like split gas money and stuff like that, and you travel different places together. Even when you start getting a little bit more money, a lot of times you just like your little crew of people that you kind of travel with. So I had this dude that I used to do comedy with. I ain't gonna say his name because that's not really cool. But I had a dude that I used to do comedy with, and he was funny as hell in the green room. The green room is like where everybody will be before you get out on stage, right? Dude was funny as hell in the green room. He would have us laughing. He'd be talking about everybody. He'd be like, "Oh, you did this." He would do impressions of everybody. Like, whatever it is you did a lot, he would do funny impressions of people. He was funny as hell. One of the funniest dudes I ever just talked to and been around. He would get on stage and bomb 100% of the time. I'm talking like every single time he would get on stage and hear crickets. Not, there would be no laughing. People would be like, you may hear a chuckle here and there, like, but other than that, people would just be looking at him most of the time. And I was like, dang. We all feel like dude is funny as hell. And I was new to the game at this time. I hadn't been doing comedy for more than a year. And it was an old head comedian. His name is Spanky. He's an old head comedian. He's like 50-something years old. I asked him. I was like, because I was confused. I really didn't understand it. Because like I said, he was funny as hell in the green room. So I was like, Spanky, why does this dude keep coming out here and bombing night after night? What's going on? What's the deal? Spanky told me straight up. He was like, man, you got to understand. We're laughing because we know the backstory. When he tell a joke about this person or he do an impression, we know the person, so it's funny. When he talks about different things that happen, we know the person, so it's funny. This dude goes out on stage every single night and bombs, and he never takes into consideration that he isn't connecting with the crowd so that they understand what's happening without knowing his whole backstory, without knowing his whole life, without knowing everything and all the characters. He's not making the connection. He's not making people see the story with just a little piece of information that they got. That's what comedy is all about. Making somebody be able to connect with you with a little bit of information. Because obviously you can't tell them, oh, well, I grew up like this, and oh, you got to understand, and this person. I was like, wow. I didn't think about that because I said I was new. I didn't even think about it that way. I didn't recognize the fact that that is what he's doing. And he would come off stage and bomb and be mad at the audience for not feeling them. He'd be like, oh man, they sucked tonight. He'd always have a new thing to be mad about. He never really thought to say, what is it about the way I'm packaging my stories? What is it about the way I'm packaging my impressions that the audience is not connecting with? And to be real, a lot of times that's what we do when we date. That's what we do in job situations. That's what we do when we connect with friends. We expect people to know our backstory. We expect people to think, oh, well, you understood everything. You should understand everything I'm going through. You should understand what I mean by this tweet. You should understand what I mean by this thing I put on Instagram. You should understand why I'm not smiling. Look what I just been through. You should understand why I came out on this date and I acted this way. Look at all the things I've been through. But in reality, a person has to connect with just a small piece of information that we can show. And it's our job to make sure that people can make that connection. It's not the audience's job because they got other people they want to listen to and other things they want to do. We have to make that connection or get left behind. All right, I'm gonna do a few more minutes. I appreciate y'all that we got up over 100. Hey, let's see what else we can do. Let's see if we can get 150 before I get off of here. Never give up. I see you, Lulu, when you're talking about the couple session. I could try to work something out with you on that. DM me on I am ChazzEllis on Instagram, and I'll try to see what I can work out. Okay. If a guy ignores you for no reason, then is he trying to manipulate you? I don't like to use words like that if a guy ignores you for no reason, because I mean everything has a reason. It's just a reason you might not know, and the reason may not be your fault. So, but usually there's a reason to something. That's kind of a little bit of a loaded question. So I don't like to answer those type of questions as far as like for no reason, because everything has a reason. It may just be one you don't know, or one that may not even be your fault, or that you just don't identify with. Hello, Chaz. How long should you text someone before actually meeting them and talk on the phone? I'm talking someone we have been constantly texting for 3 weeks. Okay, I got you. How long should you text somebody and talk on the phone with them before you actually meet them? Good question. I'll say this. I say as long as it takes. Obviously, within reason. 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Come on now. Everything is within reason. But you should just cross some landmarks before you actually go out with somebody if you don't know them or anything like that really well. And the landmarks I would say cross is get to know the person and see if you can make somewhat of an emotional connection. Try to Skype or something like that, or what are we using now? Y'all got sometimes I don't remember the software, but Zoom or whatever, make sure you do something like that, FaceTime, so you know you're not getting catfish, right? But from there, I would say spend enough time to where you get to know some things about that person, where they're from, stuff about their life, and they get to know things about you, so you guys can really make a good connection on an emotional level. The reason why I say that is because when you go out with somebody, it's funny because right now in this society with technology, we have the perfect opportunity to really get to know people and connect with people before we go out. And if you can do that and you can make a real solid connection with somebody before you actually go out on a date with that person, it is going to make it so much easier for you once you do, because they're more likely to be invested. It may take a week, it may take 2 weeks, but I would say cross some landmarks. Get to know who they are, where they're from. FaceTime at least once or twice if you can. Get to know certain things about what they like and what they don't like to do, things like that. And also tell them things that they can act upon if they wanted to on a date. So if you're like, oh, I really like yellow roses, what, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do something like that. Thanks, Liz. I'm going to get to you. I got you. I'm with you. How do I deal with a super heavy past communicating it to potential partners? Childhood cancer, PTSD, vengeful, insane ex, abusive family. That's a lot, man. I don't know if you got in counseling for that. I would, just to keep it real with you, I would go get some therapy for that. If you have not already, because, I can't try to be no therapist. Like I said, I ain't a spiritual advisor. I'm not a therapist either. So that's where I would start with that. As far as communicating that with somebody or dealing with somebody with that, that's something that you just got to peel the layers back on as you get to know somebody and you feel comfortable having that conversation. You will be surprised at how many people will really connect with you on trauma and on things that you've been through. Where you would think they would judge you, or you would think that they would be turned off or put off by it. A lot of things that we've been through in life is really just how we present it to people. It's like, don't judge this. Don't judge this. I work with a guy who is blind. Alright? And he was like, yo, how do I get girls, Chaz, when I'm blind? I'm going to try not to give too much information about it. But this person is blind. And he's like, man, how do I holler at girls? I don't want people feeling sorry for me. He starts telling me about his life. And I'm like, bruh, why would anybody feel sorry for you? You winning out here in these streets. You are killing it. That's your thing. Like, you got a superpower. You like Daredevil or somebody, you know what I mean? Like, you are transcending your situation, I think you're not looking at it that way, and that is attractive to a lot of people. A lot of people are attracted to somebody who survived. And if you present it in that way, then I think you're going to get a lot better results than you probably even think you would get. You know, present yourself as a survivor. Hold on, I done messed up here. Try to get back into this chat. Okay. Let me see. Amy, I got you. How do you successfully pick a guy who doesn't gossip to you with his friends? Okay, yeah. And family behind you. Who doesn't gossip about you with his family and his friends behind your back? I want to avoid those guys. Well, I mean, that's a good question. Like, how do you avoid somebody who gossips? The reality is, it's hard to really do that. But be the change you want to see. So, make sure you're not gossiping. And make sure you're not talking about people behind their back. And also, make sure that you guys have a me against the world mentality. Us against the world mentality. Bonnie and Clyde without the getting shot and all that. That's the kind of mentality you want to show. Like, we on the same team. A lot of times people be like, why are you talking to your family about me? When you're doing stuff to them that their family ends up having to defend them against. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's you, but I'm saying make sure that's not you. So that's the thing. You want to look at a situation and say, hey, is it us against the world? We're together in this. I'm not going to talk about about you to my family or my friends. It's only going to be praise and good things, and anything bad, I'm going to talk to a counselor, or I'm going to talk to somebody who doesn't know you and will never get to know you. That's the key to that. You know, and just like I said, us against the world, showing them that you're on their team. And if that ain't working for that person, then, you know, move on to the next if that's a pet peeve of yours. Okay, yeah, Liz is talking about being through multiple types of therapy and basically not wanting people to take advantage of that. The reality is, whenever we open ourselves up to anyone, there's always a fear, and there's always a legitimate fear and a possibility of them taking advantage of what they told us. That's the vulnerability, or what we told them. That's the vulnerability of love and caring about somebody. But I think it's also how you present it and not allowing a person to believe that that's something that they can hurt you with. A lot of times in our presentation, if I sit here and say, yo, I suffer from gang violence, I didn't, but you know, hey, so what? If I've been, you know what I'm saying? Like say I had a really tough situation. I suffer from gang violence. I've been through, I grew up in a rice paddy. I mean, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been struggling. I've been down through there. And I presented like, yo, I'm a survivor. And I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of what I've been through. And I'm proud of what I made it through. Like, I talk a lot of times about being homeless. And that's it. That is something that's real. And, you know, I was living in my car for a while. And I'm not ashamed of that. So if you ever brought that up, I'm like, oh, you used to live in your car because you was a bum. But look what I've been able to accomplish since then. Look where I'm living now. And look what I'm doing now. You know, I'm in an office building of my own business right now. You know, and I'm talking to people who want to hear what I have to say. So it ain't what you've been through. It's how you came through it. And if you did it with style and grace and dignity, then you don't have nothing to feel ashamed of. You know, you don't have nothing to feel ashamed of at all. And if somebody tries to make you feel ashamed, that's an indictment on them. Nobody can use something that you're proud of against you. And if you made it through abuse, you made it through cancer, that's something to be proud of because you still here. So for somebody trying to use that against you or talk down on you or whatever, you don't gotta let that, you know, that should never be that. They shouldn't even think they could do that. How they gonna talk down on you for what you survived and being strong enough to make it. It's like, so you never survived anything? That's the rebuttal to that. You never been through anything? Well, I can't respect somebody who don't have no struggles. That's what's up. Philly loves ChazzEllis. That's a dope name. That's what's up. I love y'all too, man. I do this because I really want to help people grow and I want to help people move forward in their lives. I know we all go through things and we don't need somebody bashing us or putting us down for what we going through at the time. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I talk about this stuff, because I understand the fact that we go through things and nobody wants somebody bashing them. That's why I don't do that. If you tell me what you want, I'm never here to judge what you want. I'm going to help you get it. Within reason, as long as it's not a crime. If you want to find somebody to help you be like you're selling drugs or something, I can't do that. But as long as it's legal and then, you ain't going too far with it, then I'll help you with whatever. You're welcome, Liz. I appreciate you too. All right, we about to wrap it up in like 15 minutes. Anybody else got questions? I'm going to try to read through these questions that's down here. Yeah, I guess some of the other ones that I missed. Let me try to get through some of these. Lynn, what did you ask? Ask your question again. Some of y'all, if y'all asked a question, I might have missed it. I'm gonna try to go back through. I do the best I can. I ain't like no super tech savvy dude. I'm gonna keep it a buck, but I do try to read through y'all questions as much as I can. Because they get to be a lot. Okay, I think this is Chaz. Why would a man keep coming back to the same woman after several years that he has never had a relationship with? And yes, this man says he loves this woman. Man, if you letting the person come back, if y'all never had a relationship and they keep coming back year after year after year, I'm going to be real with you. Most of the time it's because you let them come back. But they must have some amount of being cool with you, but that doesn't mean that it's ever going to turn into a relationship. There's got to be a reason why you haven't had a relationship with this person, but they keep coming back. I would ask, man. I'd be like, look, keep it a buck with me. You done known me for this amount of time. Why have we not ever had a relationship? So, that's something, hey, I would ask. Because it could be a million reasons. Most of the time it's because you let a person come back. And when you let a person come back, they will keep doing it. Tish want to know if I have questions for you. What do you want the next, I want to make sure, what do y'all want the next live stream to be about? That's one right there. And what's your what do y'all feel like y'all biggest struggle is while y'all dating? What's the biggest struggle that you guys go through? I mean, I talk to women all the time, and I got what I feel are the things based on what I talk to women about. But just in this chat, I want to know what's the biggest struggle you guys go through when it comes to whether it's relationship, dating, whatever. We'll try to get to that while we're Okay, I don't like this uneven number. We're at 119.92. Let's get that up to 120 at least. Let's get that up to 120, y'all. Somebody put that on the 120. You can use a sticker or anything. Put that on the 120. And let's get these likes up to 70. It's like 68. Get the likes up to 70. Just push the button. Boop. Okay, I'm gonna try to go through here and try to hit some of these last questions. All right, I think I got everyone that I read. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Y'all can keep on hitting that super chat once I'm gone. Keep supporting. Dating is hard depending on where you live. Yeah, I mean, okay. So you said, Lynn, you say he didn't trust you. Well, you gotta take him at his word. Why he doesn't trust you. I don't know what happened between y'all. You gotta ask a question. You know what I mean? Like, keep it real with yourself. Also, if you did some stuff that made you seem untrustworthy. I'm just saying, we gotta keep it real with ourselves. If that's not valid, it's not valid. But you know what I mean? If you did some stuff that made you seem untrustworthy, keep it a buck now. Okay, you say you think dating is hard for a lot of African American women these days. You know, I'm gonna address this question this one right here, this comment. I think that a lot of times we believe stuff like that because we believe the hype. Like, oh, well, I'm African American, so there's less people out there for me. There's never a shortage of anything. There's a shortage of stuff for certain people, but if you put yourself in the best position possible, there's not a shortage for you. Reverend Ike once said, yes, y'all talk about the recession, but I choose not to participate. I live by that. Whenever somebody talk about, oh man, there's an economic downturn. Oh man, this is happening. I choose not to participate. That happened to you. I feel sorry for your tragedy, but it's not mine. Don't take that on. Some of these things that people believe, you'll take that on and you'll make it you'll make that your reality when it doesn't have to be. All right, I'm gonna get off here. Appreciate all y'all. Appreciate all y'all for coming out. Make sure y'all get ready for the next one. I'm gonna be trying to do them like every Friday. So, also I do them on the guy channel too. The difference between me and a lot of other people is even if I do a live stream on the guy channel, ladies, you can watch that mug too. It ain't gonna be bashing you. Just like if a guy watched this, he wouldn't be like, "Oh man, Chaz, that's messed up." You can watch any of my channels, the videos. Even if you see me give the advice to the guys, sometimes it applies to women too. Most of the time it does. And even if I do a consultation or if I do anything private with people, y'all can watch it and you be like, dang man, he was giving game for anybody. Appreciate you, Tish. And we got it over the 120 mark. All right, y'all have a good one. Keep it up. Keep coming through to these lives because I like doing them. Y'all had some good questions, and we'll do the next one.